Did I speak too soon? Nope. Yeah, that's better, I can tell. It's just kind of weird that the trains are just snapping in and out of view. But yeah, for the most part, it's better. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Code with Me. In this series, we're going to take a look at several new features that are going to make it in the 4.0 update, and I'm going to show these to you so that you can be excited for the next update. Today, I am going to show you some new changes that I've made since the last video. If you haven't seen the previous two videos, oh, the train is leaving. I'm going to show you that later, but if you haven't seen the previous two videos, please go on my channel and check out the playlist containing all the videos in this series. I promise you that it wouldn't be boring, and if it's too long for you, just skip to the timestamps shown in the video. And just from the intro of this video, you already seen some trains moving, but for the sake of what I'm trying to demo, I think it'll be best if I started a new super flat world, so that it'll be easier for me to show you all the new features. So let me go ahead and do that, and the world's ready. So first things first, I'm gonna do game rule, do daylight cycle false, and game rule, do weather cycle false, and time set day. Okay. And also, difficulty peaceful, because the slimes can get annoying. Alright, so let's grab ourselves everything we need. Dashboard, nodes. Today I'm just gonna mainly be showing just rails and stuff. Diamond, sure, maybe some one-ways, turnbacks, remover. Alright. So you remember from the last video, I talked about some custom train combinations you can do with the sidings. So let me make a long siding so that we can kind of have some space to play around with. Oh, that's actually a really long siding. Let's see how many cars this can fit us. So let's go click on the siding. Let's choose Christmas MLR, SP, K train, oh, calf train. And what else? I don't want to go too crazy, so maybe I'll stick with some Hong Kong trains for now. How many cars did I make this siding? Okay, so that's about it for the length. Okay, the train's not going to show up yet because I still haven't fixed the code for that. And now, let me go and make my station. So I'm gonna go off into the distance a little bit to make my platforms. I'm just gonna do I'm gonna make two platforms at once so it's faster. I'm gonna make them 3 blocks apart like that. I actually should have measured how long my siding was, because I don't actually know. I should probably have measured everything, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, this is very long. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's keep going. So let's make the last platform just like a single platform. Oops. Kind of far away, a little bit curved onto the side, right here. And then just one platform at the end is good. Right through this village. Oh, the platform's a little bit curved, but I think it'll be okay. Actually, let me revise these tracks right here. I'm gonna make the last bit like that, so there's less overlap. And I need a couple of removers. And I'm gonna remove these tracks and do this and connect. Uh-oh. Where did it go? Oh no, I lost it. Okay, I found it and I connected the rails. One issue that I'm immediately noticing is that when I fly around in the world, like the tracks don't load back. The loading of the tracks is still a little bit weird. So I'm not sure if I actually have this connected or not. So as the player moves, we're supposed to be sending packets to the server so that the server can update us on what is nearby. But it doesn't do that currently. So, are these platforms even showing up? I don't know. So let's go to kind of the center of the platforms and try to draw the station area. Okay, that's there at least. So that's gonna be station 1. It's kind of hard to navigate around because the data is sometimes not updating. And then here will be our station 2. Although I don't know why it's not showing up here either. Yeah, our platform's there at least. So for our depot at the siding, the siding's not even here for me to click on. So that's another issue I have to investigate. Alright. But let me go back to my siding, see if that shows up when I get here. Nope, still not showing. Wait. Yeah, the siding's still not showing up. So I'm gonna log out and log back in and see if that works out for us. Okay, now everything's gone. Well, technically our data is still there because the... Oh! No, actually everything's here. Okay, cool. And now we have our weird train combination right here. I have also added the wheels rendering, the bogie rendering, and the car connections. That's just some old code that I copied over. Well, not exactly just copying, but implemented, re-implemented using the new rendering method. So if there are different train types connected together, so this is the head of the train, the C1141A is the head of the train. So if they both have a connector, then it's going to use the first car's connector type to render. So this connector type is currently using the C1141A connector. And then this next connector uses the M train, because that's the next one. And the next connector will be using the C train. And the next one will be using this CAF train, and so on, the K train, and the SP1900. And unfortunately, the MLR connection will not show up because there's not another car behind this one. Alright, so our train is here. How many cars is this? Wow, I made a 7-car train. That's long. Alright, let's make our route. Actually, we might have a slight issue where we can't select the platforms for our route because it's just not showing up in the dashboard. Again, I'm not sure why that's the case. Alright, let's take a pause with the demo and check the code a little bit again. Alright, so I think what we need to do is go into packet data. That's where we get all of our data from. And we need to make sure that our platforms are correctly updated. So I'm going to put a breakpoint right here. This is the run client queued method. So when I try to open the dashboard, that's what I just did. It requests a packet from the server, which returns all the data for us. So we can check our platforms. They did update. Okay, that's to be expected. Our platforms are right here, and these coordinates look about right. Yeah, so we've got two platforms right next to each other, so the x coordinates are the same, and the z coordinate is off by just a little bit, and then this is the final platform all the way at the end. Okay, so on the client side, they do update, but on the dashboard, it doesn't. So I wonder why that's the case. So let me go into the dashboard screen, and where is our initialization method? Okay, our initialization method is here, so I'm going to put a breakpoint there. When we run this, how come that didn't do anything? Let's try it again. Okay, this is our initialization, and we can use the evaluate method, evaluate function here. Let's go to client data.instance.platforms. And our size is 0. How come? What about stations? Why is it 0? Has it not been... Okay. Maybe that's why this breakpoint didn't get hit earlier as well. How does the screen actually open? So we've got our item dashboard, packet open dashboard screen create. So we send, when we run the client, oh, I see. We open the screen before we actually sync the data. That's going to be a problem because we need to see all the data before we actually open the dashboard. So what I'm just doing here, I switched the order of the two lines, and I clicked build, and the code should hot reload. Sometimes it doesn't like it when I hot reload, especially when you're changing the class structure and all that, changing lambdas and stuff. And sometimes there will be security exceptions. I don't know exactly what those are, but some of the time you can do hot reloads just by clicking the build button. So now, okay, the classes are reloaded, and let's try this again. We don't need the breakpoint anymore. And let's see. The platforms are still not here, I think. What about the siding? Is that here? Yep, the siding is here. And I edit the... No, I do this. Platforms don't show up. Okay. Put the breakpoint back. Let's see again. Stations show up, but the platforms don't. Go back to packet data, or the packet open dashboard, right? I'm gonna put a breakpoint there instead. So when I do that, the client code should have run. Client data dot instance dot platforms. Still 0. So now I'm thinking maybe it has to do with the sync function. Let me show you what I mean. If we're in packet data and we see where we run our client code, this is where we write all the data, and that's all good. The platforms are written to. I put my breakpoint here last time, which is before the sync method has run. So when we run the sync method, we actually call the data sync, which is okay. But we check that there's a rail corresponding to the platform. If there is no rail corresponding to the platform, we remove the platform. So I think that's what's going on here. Because the dashboard is supposed to load all of the data, if there is not a rail present on there, then the platform will disappear. Okay. That's going to be a little problem for us. So I'm thinking either we have to add a flag into the sync method, or we'll have to override it somehow. I think the easiest solution would be to just put a Boolean parameter here if we should verify that platform rails are present and try to remove them. Because when we request all the data when opening the dashboard, I don't think it's necessary to request all the rails as well, because we won't see them anyway. So let me stop Minecraft. Oh, hopefully... Oh, okay. That was a bad idea, because when I just quit it like that, all the data didn't save. So now I have to go back and rebuild everything again. That's okay. Let me go back to Transportation Simulation Core and go to my sync method. Okay, so that's in data. The sync method is being used in 3 places. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an overload. An overload is when you have 2 methods of the same name but different signature. Boolean do rail checks. Okay, and this one we'll call sync true. So by default, it should do the rail checks. And I think this is the only place where it does that. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, nothing else. Where else is this being used? Integration response. Let's see. Actually, why don't we just pass in the parameter here? Because on the server side, we're always going to want to do the checks. So we built this. Meanwhile, I want to show you an article because some people have commented on why I always use light mode for everything. Let me show you an article about that. So I always thought light mode was easier to read because dark text on a light background is easier to read for your eyes. And the reason why you should use dark mode is mostly about power savings, but it doesn't save that much power. And also the blue light, the extra blue light from light mode, it helps you sleep better if you use a dark screen. But it's not really something you should worry about though, I guess. Because, I don't know, dark mode, you can also use blue light filters, and dark mode does emit some blue light as well. While you shouldn't use dark mode is because it's like if you shine a bright light in a dark place, it's not gonna be good for your eyes. If you have astigmatism, it affects the text, that it looks more blurry. Black text on a white background makes for the best readability. Okay. No scientific proof that blue or enough dark mode makes you see better. Okay. Anyway, that's a bit off topic, and you can go search up articles yourself about whether light mode or dark mode is better. But I just wanted to address that because I've gotten comments about why I use light mode. Not that I really mind what people think, but I think it's just interesting to research that a little bit. Okay, so for our sync method, we added a Boolean field for sync do rail checks, right? Is that what we called it? Yeah, so I'm going to pass that into here as well. So we have two related problems right here. And on here, I want to do false on the client side. So for everything we're going to use here, I'm going to put false. Because we always trust the data coming back from the server. The server should be the one doing rail checks, but the client shouldn't do that because the client is only just reading data from the server, and we shouldn't be responsible for caring about whether data is corrupted or not. We should be only responsible for parsing the data and receiving it. So all the server-side checks should be done server-side, not in our Minecraft client. So that's why I think we should always do false over here. Okay. So now we're running Minecraft again. And I might have to redo some of the rails, so I'll cut to when I'm done doing that. Wow, I'm surprised everything's saved. Okay. So our depot is here. Let me create the route. Test route. Let's do eastbound. East. Okay, so our eastbound route will go from this station to this station. You notice the dashboard still hasn't updated because I didn't fix that yet. Test route west will go from here to here. And our depot will have the instructions westbound first and then eastbound. I'm gonna do 2.5 trains per hour and unlimited. Oh, did I already check this box? I don't remember doing that. Okay, refresh. Alright, let's see it go. Oh! The train just disappeared. And the rails disappeared. There's another train here that spawned. Yeah, when the train moves away, it disappears. I think the reason for that is because of the position tracking of the player. So as I move around, the server doesn't update. The server doesn't know that I've moved, so the server thinks that I'm still at the same position, and it will unrender the trains when they get out of view. So my hypothesis is that if I put a breakpoint somewhere here, let's do on my rendered trains, that I will only see 0 or 1 train. Actually, let me wait till there's no train, like now, and I put a breakpoint here. So my hypothesis is that if I go to client data, instance, and vehicles, it'll be 0. Yeah, okay. Whereas, if I go to the siding, I go to some server-side code, like, let's see, siding, where I have server-side simulation, like this tick method. I think this is all server-side, yep. So if I go to simulator, or vehicles, just list the vehicles. There are 5 on the map right now. There are 5 trains on the map, server-side, but my client side only sees 0 trains. Well, now there's 1, but 0 again. So the next bit of code that we will need to add is that when we move, we will need to update the server of our position. So if you remember a while ago, we added a method somewhere. I think it's in the init here. This one, update player position. So as we move in the world, we will need to tell the server that our position has updated. So I think the best way to do that is every few seconds we will pull the player's position, and if we've moved far enough from the previous stored position, then we will send the update. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is make another map, private static final object to object. Maybe we can just do an AVL tree map with UUID for the player and block position. Okay, so every time we update, oh, this is one of those IntelliJ bugs again, where it doesn't update the warnings as I type. So, same as this red line over here. Once we join the server, when do we call this update player position? Yeah, when the player joins, and when we close the dashboard screen. Okay, interesting. All right, so do we have a server tick here, end world tick? So I also want to add a field here, private static int game tick. So I'll increment the game tick here. If game tick, so maybe I'll do a check every 2 seconds or something. So 2 seconds would be 40 ticks in the game. So every 40 ticks, I want to check server world, server helper, iterate players, Minecraft server. Wait, iterate players. I can just put in server world. Yep, and then player. Oops. Like that. So for each player, let me check one more time that UUID is comparable. Yep, it is. So I can use my AVL tree map with that. Okay, so for each of the players, so we want to get the UUID first. That would be the ID of the player. So if server player entity dot get block position get the Manhattan distance, because that's the fastest way to compute distances, versus if you do the square root of the squares thing, that takes longer. So I feel like in our positions, Let me just cut the video to when I'm done coding this, because this is just some easy math. Alright, so let me show you what I have here. So if the game tick modulo 40 equals 0, which means every 2 seconds, we want to check that for each player. This is where we iterate it. Each player, we are going to get their old block position saved in this map. And we're going to compare it to their new position. If their old block position is not null, actually, I am missing something here. If they don't exist in this list, we want to put them in the list anyway. So if the old block position is null, or if they don't exist in this list already, or if they are at least 8 blocks away from their old position, we would want to update their position. So this is a list storing all the players that need to be updated. And then player positions is our map that we're storing everyone's position in, and we're going to update it. And then finally, we send the update player position packet to the server. And also, there's one more thing we need to do with register player disconnect. We will need to do player positions dot remove that, because we don't want somebody to be lingering in this map if they've already disconnected from the server. Alright, so let's try that out and see if the data will automatically update as we walk around the world. And that we will be able to see the trains and stuff like that. Let me check that the existing view distance that we want is high enough. So our update player position, we are sending to the server our client group, client stuff. What is this? Kind of forgot how this part works again. So inside a client group, we've got, update radius, we're coded it to 64 blocks. So if something is 64 blocks out of range, then it's not going to get rendered. Alright. Okay, let's try that now. As we walk around in the world, we should be getting packet updates now. Alright, nice. One train. That's the other train. Don't know why it's rendering like that. Probably because of my client rendering that it's only showing. Oh, it's so laggy. It's only rendering certain cars at the same time. Alright, cool. Yeah, why is it so laggy? Is it like receiving 10,000 packets at the same time? Or just rendering these trains makes it lag? Okay. Anyway, what I want to show everyone today is... Whoa, what's going on here? Okay, clearly I still have a lot of things to fix. Is this train at the station? No, it's not. Why is it stuck like that? Okay. Well, this didn't go as planned, but that's okay. I feel like there are two trains here trying to go head to head, and they're running into each other. Alright, I'm going to remove one of these tracks, and I'm going to redesign the track so that I can more clearly show you what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to make this part loop a little more crazily. I'm a bit sad that this is more laggy than before. And I'm gonna make the other part a one-way track, so to basically force the trains to use that way. Actually, they already will, so let me regenerate that. Whoa. Oh, I see an issue. If I have my dashboard open, then it's gonna try to reset all the data. Okay, so watch as this train goes through this curve. I'm gonna try to pause the video here. Actually, I'm going to use the wooden rail just so you can see it a little better. Why is this so laggy? I don't understand. Wait, I'm just gonna check something real quick. So where's my rendered trains again? And I just want to check how many vehicles I'm trying to render. 6? Why are there 6 trains I'm trying to render? Okay, that's not right. No way I'm seeing 6 trains in my view right now. No wonder it's lagging so badly right now. Okay, anyway, hopefully with the lag, I can still show you what I'm talking about. So, yeah, one issue with the auto updating is that it always tries to update the data even if I have the dashboard open, which will clear the stuff I have, the existing stuff that I have. Okay, slow down a bit, train. Okay, take a close look at the wheels of the train and notice how the train car turns and how the wheels follow the track. Yeah, you see that? So that's a new update. Now let me make this 20 as well so that the train goes slower here. Yeah, just ignore the lag for a minute. I am going to fix that in a little bit. So take a look again. I'm gonna refresh here again. Alright. Okay, now the train's going slow enough that we can see the wheels clearly. I'm gonna stand over here. Yep. Look. The bogies themselves are rotating along with the track, and the train cars have pivot points on the bogies so that the movement is more realistic now. Unfortunately, there's no code right now for me to get on the train, so I can't see it from the inside. But from the outside, you can see that the pivot points are no longer in between the carriages. Okay, and then the second update, watch when this train gets close to here. I don't know if this train will actually stop, but when this train stops at the station, watch what happens to the train behind it. So this is about the signaling of the track. Yep. Watch it, watch it. And it stops nicely behind this train. So right now I've coded in an 8-block stopping gap that the trains will have. Like a stopping distance so that the train behind it won't hit it. But it's configured to be 8 blocks right now. So you see this train waited patiently 8 blocks behind that train, even though the rail was partially occupied. So this train behind it is going to do the same thing as well. So as this train stops at the platform and the next train's coming in, instead of waiting at that rail node right there because this rail node is occupied, it's going to instead come towards this train until it's 8 blocks away and slow to a stop nicely. And same thing here. Yeah, see, that train was waiting for this train as well. So there's an 8-block gap here. So that's going to be the new type of signaling we're going to have. Oh, this train's coming back already. So instead of having to wait behind the rail node and the whole rail section to be clear, as long as 8 blocks is maintained between the two trains, the train behind it is just going to slowly inch its way forward until that condition is met. This lag is crazy. I'm going to try to fix that now. Let me see how many trains are being rendered right now. I wish I can have a better demo. 8 trains, wow. And a lot of these are probably out of view as well. So I can only see 2 trains. Only 2 trains should be being rendered right now. Also, a lot of the lag, I think, comes from switching textures all the time as well. So in Minecraft, most of the lag comes from when you switch textures. So how the trains are being rendered right now is doing the C1141A texture, bogey texture, M train texture, bogey texture, C train texture, like that. So every time it switches texture, it creates a little bit of more of a lag. Okay, so let me see if I can fix that real quick before we move on. So I think if we just schedule some rendering, that might help. So where's my rendering? Render vehicles. Okay, so where my render model is, where am I actually? Wait. Yeah, here is where I create the vertex consumer. So let me remove that. Render trains. No, render vehicles. Okay, what we need to do here instead is make this into a scheduled render. So where we call render model, okay, I will pass in, yeah, I think this will help performance quite a bit. So if I pass in the texture, okay, what did I just remove from here? Oh, actually, I just do it right here. Render trains dot schedule render texture not priority exterior and our render method here. Okay. Cool. This will be our scheduled render. Wait a second. Is this gonna work? Because of the translations and stuff? Render vehicles... Let's see. We need the translations to be included in there as well. Because here it does all the translations for us. Alright. I am going to make the texture... Yeah, I'm going to pass in the texture here. And we don't need the graphics folder anymore. Render trains.schedule render texture false. Oh, we need the render layer, don't we? That's gonna be an issue. Because when we're rendering the main train itself, this is so complicated here. See how many times we call create vertex consumer? That's where the lag comes in. So to schedule them all would be ideal. Let me undo this real quick. At least the bogies can be scheduled because that part is simple enough. Can we instead do a stored thing? Stored matrix transformations. Yeah. Okay. Let me just try doing that. So what we need to do is to do all these transformations there. Okay, after we store all these transformations, we can do render with the matrix transformations. I don't know if that will work. Okay. Yeah, if I modify my method to do that. Okay. So my render method will now contain that instead. So this will have stored matrix transformation and light. And then here we have scheduled rendering. And then we don't need to append new to this variable anymore. Stored matrix transformation transform. Do we need to do some pushing and popping? Oh. Transformations. Oh, it already pushes it here. And then for each... Let's just pop it anyway. Graphics holder pop. Let me see my other usages of this. Yeah, okay, I do call pop at the end. Okay, so in our model bogey class, we will do that. And for the rest of the train rendering, we will also need to do the same thing. So instead of graphics holder, I will pass in stored matrix transformation. Like that. Okay, this is tricky. So, what's base transform? What is this base transform? Okay. I think... Okay. This is tricky, but I think we are getting really close here. So interior translucent light, interior exterior light. Are we repeating some of these? No, we are not. Good. Oh, the text displays will also require the graphics holder. Okay, let's just do our scheduling right here. Schedule render. Our identifier would be texture, and priority false, interior translucent. Do we have that? What is light translucent? I'm curious. Okay, let me just add that real quick here. Okay, we need to add a switch statement here for interior translucent. Get interior translucent. Cool. So I think that's what I needed. Alright. Okay, if that gives me an error later, then we can investigate that again. So, interior translucent and graphics holder callback. So we will need to do that. And oh, lights on. We need to check if lights on, interior translucent, or else it'll be exterior translucent, which we will also need to add that here. Like that. Okay. We want the default to be exterior. This is a really annoying bug for IntelliJ. Okay, so after we render, we need to do the base transform. Actually, we need to do the transformations. Stored matrix transformation, transform, and then do the base transform, then render, and then pop. Like that. Okay, remove that. Cool. Next part, we will do the lights rendering. Okay, so render trains.schedule render, texture, priority false, lights. Oh, my naming is inconsistent. This is lights and this is light. Okay, anyway. Okay, my render light. What's next? Graphics holder. So now we'll actually do the rendering again. We need all of this. And we'll replace this render statement like that. Alright. Oh, we also have the lights on check. lights on, light or exterior. Perfect. All right. And do we have this all done? I'm really hoping I'm not missing anything here. So if I am accidentally deleting stuff, please let me know. Interior, exterior, and render. Done. Okay. If render details, we want to render extra details. Okay, I think I can delete that part now. Okay, render extra details. Oh. Okay, undo, undo, undo. I think that should stay on its own. And then this method needs to be changed. Yeah. The door overlays should also use scheduled rendering instead. Alright, anyway, we don't need the pop at the bottom as well. Now for the exterior part, copy this here. Just the exterior for here. And then our render method. Cool. And then we have our always on light, which is just basically light. Yep. There we go. That is our rendering. Cool. That should be it. Okay. And then text displays, we also need to do stored matrix transformations. Just like this. Oh. Where did that go? Ah! There's so many. Uh-oh. Should I be doing scheduled rendering? Let's fix the extra details bit here first. Wait a minute. Oh. This is getting more and more complicated. Okay. I think what I am going to do is, since I am doing base transforms for all of these, it will be good to do a stored matrix transformation add the base transform like that. Okay, and then use this one instead, so we don't have to do all the base transforms like that. This is appending onto the stored matrix transformation while not modifying the original object. So this should only be used in one location. This should only be used here. Yep, okay. So now we have that. And our text displays and the render extra details. Okay, let's just go for it. Let's go for it. Okay, now there's a refactor thing here. I'm gonna change this to stored matrix transformation. And when I refactor, all the overrides will change the signature. So then I don't have to go into each one and change it. So that's a neat feature. Okay, let's fix the extra details first. Schedule render. What goes in here? Texture. What is our texture? Model door overlay render. And yet we request more vertex consumers. That's why it lags so much. So we will again need to do the same thing here. And schedule all this rendering here. Okay. So render... You know, I'm gonna cut to when I'm done doing this, because this is a bit tedious. Alright. Added all the scheduling for the door overlays. That was a bit painful, but it's done now. Okay. So instead of graphics holder, we're passing in our stored matrix transformations. Oh, and the overlay top has to be changed as well. What is... Oh. Wait, does this also have... Wait a minute. So confused. Model door overlay top base. Oh. Okay. Okay, I just did that off camera. Fixed the SP1900 and the MLR door overlays. So that's what that change was. And I also found out that I was calling this render method. That's why, and this method has nothing in it. This isn't supposed to be called directly. So I called render instead of render new here. That's why nothing was being rendered. Okay, so finally, all the text rendering. Is that gonna error out anything? It should. Yeah, we do need the graphics holder there. We can't just have the stored matrix transformation. So we might have to... We might have to change this back. Oops, not rename. Okay, when you change this back, we will need to plug that in. I'm just gonna rename this to graphics holder text so it doesn't conflict with all these ones here. I know that's not usually what I do. But I can change that later. Okay, so who's calling this render? Maybe it's just here. Alright. Now is everything happy? Let's run it and see. Hopefully it is. I just had to fix one small thing in this resource pack creator because the resource pack creator renders the train model in the GUI. So, after fixing that, Minecraft will launch, and let's see what we have here. Let's see if the frame rate is better or not. I feel like there'll be some improvement. Maybe still a little bit laggy, but I feel like it would be better. Did I speak too soon? Nope, yeah, that's better, I can tell. It's just kind of weird that the trains are just snapping in and out of view. But yeah, for the most part, it's better. Still a little bit of lag here and there. You see the door overlay rendered properly now on the MLR as well. Maybe it's because all the packets and stuff being sent. Like when this train is waiting behind the other train, it's like constantly sending packets because it's waiting for when the train in front is like moving away slowly. Okay, my video recording stopped again because my disk space ran out again. So I had to delete some old video footage from last week. Anyway, I wanted to just demo again all the features that we showed earlier, but with better frame rate. So, as we get close to the siding, the train should show up. Well, okay. I have to kind of brush up that feature a little bit because it's still not perfect, as you can see. Like the train's not instantly updating as well as I hoped. The light rendering layer can be improved. Okay, so the first feature that I was gonna show is look at the new bogey rendering on these curved tracks. So the bogies follow the curve nicely. They rotate according to the curve. And the pivot of the train car itself is now on the bogie instead of just at the car connection point. So the movement is much more realistic. Which also means if you make tight curves like this, it's going to look really weird. Especially if you're inside the train, the car connectors will look like they're being warped, like a ton. But this also means that you shouldn't be designing these tight curves for these full-size trains anyway. So that's up to you as the builder to decide what you want to do. So that is the improved physics of the bogies. And if I make slopes as well, you'll also see that the bogies follow the slope, although I haven't built any slopes here yet. And the second feature is the train stopping distance mechanism, or whatever you want to call it. So as you can see, the signaling works a little differently from when it does before. Instead of waiting for the whole rail section to be clear and the train will be waiting behind this rail node, now the behavior is that the train would just follow along the train in front with an 8-block space. So the 8 block is hard-coded right now. For all trains, it's going to stay 8 blocks behind. So as you can see, when this train stops at the station, this train's coming in, but it's gonna keep an 8-block distance, and so when this train moves out, this train will inch in close by as well, like that. So instead of waiting behind that rail node until the whole section is clear, the trains will maintain the 8-block separation, and at least an 8-block separation to keep the distance. So let me see if I can show another instance of the trains doing that. I don't know. Let's just watch this train turn back, because I'm a little bit afraid that the trains aren't gonna turn back properly. Oh, they are. Okay, good. Yeah. Which will also mean you have to design your signal blocks better. So right now, signal blocks aren't implemented right now with the signal connectors, but it also means you might have to redesign some of your existing junctions, because trains can now enter a rail section even though there's another train on it. So if you have like a one-way turn back, or one lane turn back, and a train is inside the turn back, the second train can enter the turn back. Let me show you what I mean. Like here, for example, at this last station. If a train is here at this platform in the turn back, a second train comes in here, enters this turn back. It's going to wait 8 blocks behind this train and enter into a gridlock. So you're going to have to redesign this. And we'll talk about signaling another time because I haven't coded that in yet. But if that happens, you're going to have to design your signaling so that they don't lock up. Whoa. This isn't supposed to happen. I think this is an issue of the packets. So when I got too far away from that other train, and now I entered the view radius, that train's supposed to have left, but my client doesn't know that. So there's like a frozen train in time here. This train is frozen in time because this train is actually at the siding and it's disappeared from existence, but my client doesn't know that because I was out of range. Oh, now it disappeared. Yeah, so some small issues that I have to fix, but the main features that I want to show off today is the bogie rendering and the improved signaling of the trains. They'll always wait 8 blocks behind the existing train. And there's a cat here. Be careful. Wow, is it gonna really cross? Okay, no, it's not gonna cross the tracks at the perfect time. Okay. Yep. It's all working well, and I've improved the frame rate a little bit. I think Spawn Station on the Let's Play will see significant improvements with this frame rate scheduled rendering stuff that I've implemented. But we'll have to wait for the 4.0 update. So I guess this is a bit of an improvement as well before we actually implement Nemo's rendering changes. So if you don't know who Nemo is the author. Nemo's Transit Expansion, that's what it is, NTE. So if you have that add-on, you would know that you can add OBJ models to the game, and that is supposed to lag up the game a ton because the Minecraft rendering engine can't handle that. But Nemo rewrote some of the pipeline for rendering, which is very impressive. I have no idea how to do that stuff, but if we do implement that code into the mod, then rendering will be much faster as well. But that's like a far future thing. For now, this rendering improvement I'm already quite happy with. So we can be enjoying that for now. So yeah, those are like the 2 big updates, I guess 2.5. The 2.5 updates, I know I said this multiple times, is the new train physics and the bogie rendering, whatever you want to call it, and the stopping distance, the signaling, the new signaling change for the trains, and also the half update is the rendering improvements. Alright, so thank you for watching. I hope you've been enjoying this series, and thank you everyone for supporting. Thank you Patreons, and thank you everyone else for your support and encouragement during this time. There's been a lot of coding going on. Please subscribe and like this video, and check out the playlist if you haven't seen the other 2 videos about the new upcoming updates. And I'll see you next time. Bye!